Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion walkthrough for nextgenwalkthroughs.com. Part 2, the tutorial quest, part 2, and right here is where the rats bust through the concrete, and it's pretty much your first fighting of the game. And yeah, I love that blood. You're also going to want to be sure to, as I said in the previous one, pick up all potions, and that rat meat I picked up, that's for alchemy, which I'll get into a little bit later on when I pick up the pestilent mortar. But I'm not going to be going too deeply into alchemy because I have never found too great of a use for it. But just because alchemy isn't that great. Now here is the journal, like the main part of the journal. This first part tells you all of your attributes, your skills, and pretty much what you have. And right here is a list of your fame and everything else. And right here's your inventory, your main inventory with your weapons, armor, potions, and miscellaneous. And of course all of them. Here's your magic, which shows different kind of magic spells and what is affecting you, which is on the far right. Right here, Argonians have resist disease, immunity to poison, resist disease, and water breathing. And by resist, I mean 75% resistant, which means there's a 25% chance I can get a disease. But still 75% resistant more than everyone else. Anyway, right here's the maps and quest parts, and the maps are pretty important, obviously, so you're going to want to pay attention to those if you ever get lost, obviously. And you can see for the torch, it lights up. The place is pretty good, actually. Anyway, you're going to want to pick up any torches that you do get because they weigh nothing and you can hold unlimited torches. So don't worry about picking up tons and tons of torches because on my main account I have like 300 torches. But I don't use them, but I just pick them up anyway. But for this guy, you're going to want to just loot him and then take the key and lockpicks and some of the scrolls if you want. I am going to go through the warrior path, not the mage or battle mage or anything, so I will not have too much of a use of scrolls and spells, although I will be using healing spells and some destruction spells and later on conjuring spells a lot, just because they make the game easier. Now for this, it's where you get your first real armor, which is this leather, which is light armor I think, and it's also where you get your bow and arrows. Now, I will be going through the whole game playing with swords. Oh, and be sure to pick up yarn, and like if you see me picking up random things, it's because I need it later. I'm going to need it later. So yarn is going to be needed for a Daedric Shrine, which I'm going to be doing in the main quest, so I would pick up yarn as soon as you find it. And also, you're going to want to pick up lettuce and some soul gem. I forgot which kind of soul gem, but I'll get to that later on in the main quest, so that's not the point of this now. Anyway, so leather armor that you just picked up was light armor, which is best for people who want to be the thief type or light mage or archers. You could be heavy armor for everything, and like for thieving, if you want to be heavy armor, that'll make the game a whole lot harder though. But if you're into that, then go ahead. And I'll be going through heavy armor, which iron is, and I just picked up some heavy armor, and I'll be going through the whole game with heavy armor. And at first it will weigh you down quite a bit, but once you get it higher, it'll weigh you half as much as it did. Once you get it to master, it'll weigh absolutely nothing, which is really useful because on my file I plan a lot more than this has like has this really heavy armor on, but it weighs absolutely nothing because it's heavy armor and I'm a master in heavy armor and that. So yeah, anyway, right here is where you can see how some of the people will fight each other actually, and the rat is fighting the zombie. And if you see me missing a lot, it's just gonna happen because I'm on the computer and I'm not that great at aiming on the computer with spells and things on Oblivion. So, right here I'm just showing you my difficulty, which is the meters right smack in the middle, which is default, and that gets pretty hard later on. And the reason I checked that is because I thought it was on easy or something, just because they were dying so fast, and I do not remember them dying that fast. But oh well. So anyway, I hotkey these spells here just so I can switch them a lot easier, and later on I'll be hotkeying other spells over them once I get better. And I would have to go with hotkeying important things like torches, spells, weapons, and repair hammers. Repair hammers especially, because that's a whole lot easier having them hotkeyed than it is. Oh, and soul gems, but it's just a lot easier having those repair type items hotkeyed than it is having to go through your inventory once you get tons and tons of keys. Which is another thing I didn't really like about this game. There's no keyring type thing, so if you get like 60 keys, you have to scroll through all the keys to get to the bottom where the repair hammers are. Oh well. So, I guess I'll take this time to go through the armors, different kind of armors. Now there's heavy armor, light armor, and robes. Now robes can be useful if you're like a mage or you're trying to be sneaky because they weigh hardly anything, and they are pretty useful if you're sneaky, like I said. And some of them have enchantments, but most of them are just kind of useless. And I'll probably be selling any robe I get. Any really fancy robe, any rare robe even, I'll sell it just because I'm never going to use it. And that's another thing, if you don't think you're going to use it, but you can carry it, pick it up, and then so you can sell it later, because gold's kind of hard to come by. Unless, of course, you duplicate, which I will be duplicating, but I'm not going to be duplicating too much for gold. I'll duplicate a little bit for gold, but not like tons for gold. But I will be duplicating just because it makes the game possible, I think. I've never been able to do the game without duplicating. Maybe that's just because I suck, but whatever. The point of the walkthrough is to make the game easier, so. And I'm confident, like, more than half of you are going to be interested in duplicating than the other half that whine about me duplicating, but it won't matter. Anyway, I was overweight there, or no, I was not. I was like over encumbered, so I just dropped some stuff, and it's gonna sound behind because it's back there. And right here, first fork in the game, I guess you could say, but it's, I don't know, just either way, it leads you to the same spot. And there are some places in Oblivion where you can get lost, but if you pay attention to the map, then it's pretty hard to get lost. And if you remember where you're going. And be sure to search everything and collect any gold you get, lockpicks, until you get the skeleton key, which you will not be able to get till you're level 15. But the skeleton key is an unbreakable lockpick, and once you become level 15, you're probably going to want to get that right away. And lockpicking is like a million times easier. And also another thing that comes to lockpicking, I have to say that lockpicking is just practice. I don't think there's any skill in it involved whatsoever. I think it's just practice. And like, I know that could probably be said as skill, but I think it just takes time to know how to do it. But I don't think there's any special trick. Some people say there are, but I've never been able to find it, and I'm just like, whatever, floats your boat, I guess. Anyway, I started talking off in the armors and got drifted, but I'll have to talk about that in the next video. And also, little mushrooms and weeds and plants you'll find, try and collect those if you are interested in alchemy, but if you aren't, just completely skip them. But I'm going to get them up, I'm just going to collect a bunch anyway, and nearing the end of the second video, so yeah, that's about it for part 2, see you in part 3.